guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Monday, March 25th, before Celtics-Hawks. We'll be live tonight. I mean, you know that by now because it was last night. But we are here recording before the first of the Celtics 2 games against the Hawks. A reminder before we get into the game recap of that one, to leave a like on the video, subscribe to How About Them Celtics. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, scroll down, leave 5 stars. If you're driving, don't do that. Do it after. Thank you for the birthday hat, Sam. We are recording on my birthday. I appreciate that. But yeah, leave a like on the video. That could be my birthday present for you to subscribe to How About Them Celtics.
Yes.
And comment what's popping on the video for a chance to win a $10 Incognito gift card. We'd appreciate that very, very much. Without further ado, let's jump into a recap of Celtics-Hawks. All right, Sam and I are here after Celtics-Hawks. Celtics had a 30-point lead, and then they didn't. Lost to the Hawks, 9-game win streak snapped. 120-118 loss for the Celtics. Hawks got hot from 3. Celtics offense stopped existing, and that was that. They lost. Krejci had a big game, which was something. DeAndre Hunter hit a big 3 at the end of the game, which could have been the worst shot in Hawks history if it hadn't gone in, but it did, so it didn't matter. And some rough games for some certain members of the Celtics, but we'll get into it. We were watching the game on playback with Jake Eisenberg. Or Eisenberg, sorry if that's wrong. I actually don't know. First to the floor, and it was an experience. We can say it was something.
These guys are fucking assholes, dude. Like, this game doesn't mean anything. You're just leaving the door open, just for people to fucking not believe. The national media is going to be annoying. You say, Sam, don't consume it. Fine. But if you're coming on the pod, anyone, Jack, commenters, whoever, and you don't have some little small inkling in your brain that is like, do I really trust them? Do I trust them? Not anybody.
Oh, okay.
Do I trust the Celtics in the clutch? Do I trust them with a big lead? Trust them more with the big lead than in the clutch. It doesn't feel great to see this. I don't think it's the end of the world. That's not what I'm saying. But those thoughts that just creep in every once in a while, like, do they have it? Are they going to be okay? Blah, 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 blah. They kind of get a little bit of validation on days like today. They don't get validation often. This is not an every game thing. It is not common for the Celtics to do this. They have done an excellent job this year of taking care of business, of not breaking when things get tough. But today was not one of those days. I personally don't think it helped that they didn't have any of their starting point guards playing.
Probably.
Would have been nice to have either one of those guys, especially Derek White, who's big on making big shots. But absolutely hate to see them lose a game like this. I hate it. Hate that they were up 30. They went ice cold from 3. If you want to reopen that can of worms, you can be like, what do they do if they can't make threes? I don't really know how valid that is anymore, but you felt it today for the first time ever this season. So if you want to harp that, I guess today's your day for that. Today's the perfect example of why they shouldn't only shoot threes. It sucked that Hauser was 2 of 10. That hurt. I mean, not great that Jalen, played hero ball, threw the ball off the backboard there at the end of the game. Couldn't do anything on a drive this game after being so great on the drive for the last month.
Even in the first quarter, he was great, and then it just went away.
Well, when the game mattered, when they weren't blowing the doors off of him. Once the Hawks tried to resist at all, they had nothing for him. It was incredible. We were on the stream, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what it looks like when a team doesn't play any defense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the same kind of flow to a game if you want to, go in the time machine to that Nets game last year when they were just getting anything they wanted, and then all of a sudden they weren't, and then all of a sudden they lost the lead.
I think it was a perfect storm of the Celtics got comfortable and let off the gas, as you do at this point in the season, and as the Celtics have done from time to time. And the Hawks locked in and got hot and started playing some defense. And so I think it was the perfect mix of both those things that allowed this to happen. like you said, like this game's not going to matter in a month, but the one takeaway that you take from this is like, why the fuck are we still running the same bullshit last 2-minute offense like that? That's the one thing that like is truly baffling, because I liked it. The idea when Tatum was attacking Murray, because he collapsed the defense, he got some good drives out of it. He had a huge dunk, and there were some passing lanes open. But the ones where it was like Tatum turned the ball over one, and that was bad, right? I'm not saying it wasn't bad. Obviously, it was like shit. But then they just went to Jalen instead. And for the people, and I'm not saying you're completely wrong, but for the people who are like, give Jalen some touches, why is it always Tatum? Well, with all due respect,
nothing with it today.
Yeah, with all due respect, like he looked significantly worse than Tatum, who had just turned the ball over. My question is, and I wrote about this after the Bulls game, like, and again, like you said, it didn't help you didn't have your 2 point guards, but like it feels like why aren't we running sets? Why are we doing nothing? Why, like, we saw Joe has sets for late game offense last year when he had those that Tatum had that game winner in Philly. Like, we've seen them have stuff. This play against the Bulls is a perfect example of like, why aren't we doing this? Like the high pick and roll, they don't run this at all. Like, look how high they set the pick and roll here. They're on the logo going out to set a screen. Look how much space they have to work with here. And there's 2 bigs on the floor cluttering the corner, and they still have space. They run a Derek White, Jason Tatum pick and roll on the logo. And then Tatum spins around Torrey Craig because Torrey Craig is so concerned about another pick or Derek White giving the ball to Tatum here, which looks like they're about to do. Like, this is an example of the offense they ran tonight. It is get the ball to Tatum on a switch on a good matchup at the top of the key. And the Bulls are anticipating that. So Tatum spins behind, he gets it in the lane, the Bulls defense collapses, and they get an open corner 3. Pritchard misses the shot, but like, why aren't they doing stuff like that at the end of games? Like, they have the personnel, they have the teams to do that. That's the only part from this game that concerns me in the slightest. They let off the gas. I've said it a million times. They stopped fucking trying. They didn't care. The game's over. The season's over until the playoffs for them. And so they said, whatever. And do I love it? No.
Put it on a graphic. The season's over, Jack.
Well, take out of context, but like, do I love it? Obviously not, right? I'd love for them to be locked in for 48 minutes every game, every, point of the season. It's just not feasible. It's not going to happen. No team is ever that. Like, even the whatever year Bulls, when they won the title and won 72 games, like they let off the gas as well. Regardless, the only thing that matters to me in this game is that they had a chance to prove the late game offense. You were sitting there saying that after they blew the lead and they ballooned it back out to 11, you're like, this is prove it. This is good. Good for them. That late game was a chance to prove it. And they said, Nah, fuck it. We'll just do the same shit. That's the only part from this game that frustrates me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I hate seeing them not play well when the game's on the line. It makes it just balloons up all those little thoughts, all the little, do I trust them? Are they going to win a close game? Are they going to be able to get past Denver? Whatever your worries may be going into the playoffs, I'm sure those worries today are looming large, or they're making their presence known, I should say. They are letting you know that they are there. I don't love it. I hate the late game offense. I like Joe. Think Joe's done a good job. Think he's done a great job at getting these guys to buy in. But for fuck's sake, show me something. And if you're saving it in your back pocket for the playoffs, more power to you. But fuck, man. I don't want to see the fellas. I don't want to see them all just standing there anymore. I can't do it. Tell me how Porzingis doesn't get a touch in the last 2 minutes, except for the tip-ins at the end of the game after the game was already over. You gotta go to him in some capacity. He wasn't fantastic tonight. He got taken out of the game by Atlanta, to their credit. They did a good job on him. I know we were joking on the stream that he fucking got fucked off after he started playing well, but 4 rebounds just gives you an indication of how, like, he really wasn't that present overall.
Capella,
gotta get him involved.
Capella killed him. Capella had 12 rebounds, 5 offensive. A lot of those were in the last few minutes. And I know RJ said it in the chat, and this isn't like going at RJ, but I can picture, like, in the Twitterverse, some people saying, why didn't they go to Pritchard at the end of the game? What are they doing? Like, guys, with all due respect, if we're going to treat this as a playoff rep and, like, let the Celtics practice, which they didn't practice very fucking well. I'll say that. They didn't practice well. It was bad practice. They didn't do the right things. Pritchard's never going to have the ball in that spot. Never, ever, ever. Never, 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 ever. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Like, and he can be great for spurts in this game, attacking Vit fucking Krejci, but that doesn't mean he's going to be able to get buckets and do that in the last 2 minutes when everything bogs down and the defense stays home and doesn't, and like all this stuff. Like, There's too much nuance to it. I don't believe that it's going to be a thing. Jalen, this was one of the most tunnel vision games I've seen from him all season, which was unfortunate. Outside of he had that turnover late in the game, which was pretty bad, and there were a couple lackluster defensive closeouts. Tatum was actually pretty good in this game. He played pretty well. He attacked really well. He didn't have a shot from three. No one really did, but I didn't think this was a terrible Tatum game. I thought he was pretty good.
37 points,
too. 8 and 5,
8 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah, he had played really well. Kristaps, like you said, I think they needed to get him involved more than they did because he was really non-existent after the first half, maybe even quarter. Horford needs somebody to help him on the glass. That man was just getting bodied by Capella, and I'm not going to sit here and blame him because it was fucking only him. No one else was helping him down there, so that was frustrating. Sam Hauser, it sucks that this was the one game. I'll give him a little break since he has literally shot 50% for the last 10 days, but it does suck that this was the one game, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe you feel it more, obviously, when the Celtics don't make their threes, it is more hard for them to win. Again, though, I'm not let's not sit and act like that's a just Celtics thing. If teams miss their threes, it is hard for them to lose. That is not if the Celtics, that is in general. I mean, you see what happens to the Bulls and the Suns. They don't take them, so they lose. There is a correlation there across the league. Yeah, man, this is
box score takeaway. 21 assists, not great.
No, not good.
In a game that you were just making everything in the first half, maybe you should have more than 21 assists. Let me see if I can even scramble it, right? Let's see if I can just look at the second half. I probably can't.
They had 7 assists in the first quarter. They had 10 assists in the second quarter, so they had 4 assists in the second half.
That is put your head in the microwave stuff.
Wait, I want to see how many.
The answer is not a lot.
4 assists on 20 made shots.
20% of the time, not the greatest.
This is not an excuse because it's still terrible, but the Hawks only made 23 shots in the second half, which is kind of insane to think about that. You want to know the difference, Sam?
Threes.
They got hit with the math. 1 made 3 for the Celtics, 11 for the Hawks. That'll do it.
Wasn't for a lack of fucking trying.
1 for 15.
That's for sure.
Well, you say that.
Celtics shot more threes than them this game.
15 threes and a half for the Celtics second half. That is not a lot of threes for the Celtics. That is a low number of threes for a half. They average 40.
I'll give them credit. They read the room.
They did. Well,
on that aspect of the game.
Well, I agree and I disagree, and it'll make sense in a sec. I think you're going to agree with me. They took the wrong threes, and they didn't take any of the good threes. I wish they took more threes, but I wish they were all good threes because all the threes they took were ISO, bullshit, and then scrambling for a 3 at the last second. And a lot of the 2s they took were, I'm going to drive into 5 people. Dude, there was a stretch in the third quarter where Jalen and Jason were driving and then just not seeing Porzingis open at the 3-point line. Those are threes you need to take. And so I think in that sense, they should have taken more because the 2s they were taking were bad and the 3s were. So I understand what you're saying and I agree with it, but at the same time, you had so much more room to take more threes if you got good threes, and they did not do that either.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for what it's worth, they didn't pass up the good threes, which is a good thing. They didn't get gun shy. They weren't afraid to shoot them when they were there. Obviously, you see Hauser 2 of 10, Pritchard 1 of 5. Those guys were still firing them up. Springer had the open one that he missed, unfortunately. But I kind of respect that they put their head down and went to the basket, but you're right. It should be not head down, head on a swivel.
Exactly. And
I like the aggression. Let's think of it like this. They took a step in the right direction. They did the first part of reading the room. They didn't, I don't know, because they did settle for the step back threes. So I don't know. They did everything wrong. They didn't shoot threes right. They didn't drive right. Jaden Springer played hard. Pritchard played good.
Springer was good. He played all right. It was good. Yeah, that's about it. Svi made his shots. Vic Krejci had the game of his life. That DeAndre Hunter shot was something. That was
on the stream. I was like, "Is he stupid?" Then it hit the bottom of that.
And then you go, "I guess not."
Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's a tournament season or the fight for a playoff home court, There's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play, and I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Use the code CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
There's that. It didn't matter, but we were talking about it in the playback. Tatum got very mad at the refs in this game. It did not matter. The Celtics beat themselves. This wasn't even a factor in the game.
Yeah.
But and the Hawks shot 10 of 17 from the line, so it's not like it was a big thing anyways.
Yeah.
If the Celtics are shooting 49.5% of the field and only have 7 turnovers, you shouldn't lose the game. Shouldn't lose the game?
No, you should not.
It's tough.
You should not.
What do you think about the defense before we get out of here briefly? I
thought they kept the pressure on them shooting threes. There were a couple transition opportunities that Atlanta got that were wide open.
Yeah.
But you can't be like, oh, they didn't guard. Like, I think they tried to guard. Didn't love that they gave up an offensive rebound on the last possession of the game.
Yeah.
But like the defense isn't what killed them. It was making bad decisions on offense. And that's what hurts. Even though if they got killed on an effort sense on defense, I'd be pissed too. But
yeah,
I just hate the mental mistakes.
Sense of the room. I got a text from Danny. Jack, you have some explaining to do. I said, Danny, until you started discussing the Celtics with me in wins as well as losses, I will not partake in the discourse. Listen to the pod. I said, I can't do it. You can't, like, if people...
I'm at that point, too. Like, I don't get, like, the hate messages like that, but, like, I do have, like, people that will be like, what do you think? And I'll be like, well, here's an hour and a half of what I think.
My thing is, like, this is inevitably going to spawn people, even in our comments, probably listen to this, be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They fucking suck. What do you... Like, that's going to happen. Keith Smith tweeted it perfectly. Well, season's over. See you in October. Like, what are we doing, guys? Come on. Like,
no, I mean, the loss won't matter in a month, but the signs don't feel great.
But the sentiment is important, and I agree. And the late game offense is still something.
Like, I think the people that are pissed have right to be pissed. I don't think it means the season's over, but I don't think you should just be like, oh, just another day. Like, oh, doesn't feel great that they melted in the clutch. Like, they were winning in the fourth quarter. They just didn't hold on to it. I'm less mad about the blown lead. The blown lead I can chalk up to, oh, they just stopped caring. But once the game got close, you begin to care again. And when you don't know what to do, how to get buckets when you need them, that's when I'm like, huh, what if this happens to you against the Miami Heat? What if this happens to you against the Milwaukee Bucks? What are we going to be talking about? Because Milwaukee has Dame who can create late in games and they can trust him. I don't know if I trust anybody on this team late in the game right now.
For what it's worth, if you're looking for it, this is a place I think Missoula should and could improve upon. Like, do something here. And so
I said that, yeah.
That can be him. Yeah.
I love him, but this is the only thing. Like, give me... It's not... And we talked about this before, and I think we've figured it out for two guys sitting in our bedrooms. Mix it up. Mix up the pitches here. All right? You can't throw them fucking fastballs every time. You got to throw a slider. Move the guys off the ball once in a while. You don't have to do it every single time.
He called it about all season. Where's curveball? Where's the curveball? I'm seeing heat.
You getting your Tommy John there? Huh?
And like you said earlier, if this is just Missoula fucking around until the playoffs and then he's going to break something out, hand up. I'll own it then. But until then, this is all we got to talk about. So we're going to have to talk about it.
I think it is a legit topic. I don't think that there's a difference between being concerned about something like this and thinking the season is over. And that's where the national media, I think, goes wrong. Or at least the interpretation of what they're saying goes wrong.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. Any final thoughts before we get on out of here?
Yeah. If they win a championship, then all of these losses will really mean nothing.
Exactly.
Meaning, like, if they do this in a year after they won a championship, people won't care. They'll be like, well, we saw them win last year. They're just coasting, blah, blah, blah.
They'll be the Nuggets.
Which could be the case right now. It could very well be they're coasting, they're ready, whatever. But we don't know yet.
Exactly. All right. Let's throw it over to the rest of the pod to two guys who were expecting a much different result tonight. All right, we are back and we are talking Jrue Holiday. Jumping right in, Jrue Holiday injured, has missed four games in a row now. I think it is.
Yep.
I think he's missed
Monday's
4
game was 4.
Okay. So 4th in a row with quote unquote dead arm. However, not technically dead arm. He caught up. This is per Jared Weiss of The Athletic. Quote from Jrue Holiday on his injury said, "Not a dead arm. I got hit in the shoulder and it felt like my arm went dead, but it's not a nerve thing or anything. It's just part of the shoulder that I got hit in, but my shoulder is fine." Basically saying, we're just being careful here. I'll be all right.
Which is good. I think that's more positive news than I think we all initially felt it was going to be. When the whole Globe article came out on Jrue Holiday having a shoulder injury that I don't think anybody thought was real, kind of shocked all of us. We're like, oh, wait, what? He's hurt? He's actually hurt? And then the play surfaced, and it was like, oh, that didn't look pretty. I hope he's okay. And we've been talking about this all week, and it's like, oh, man, like, I guess, like, they don't really need him in the first round of the playoffs. Like, they can get around without Jrue Holiday, right? Yeah, no, they're fine. Well, you don't want to put him back in there and just throw him to the Wolves in the second round and have him try and make shots. You need to get him into a rhythm. So there's all these added layers to a random March shoulder injury for Jrue Holiday, which turns out to be okay. He says his shoulder's fine. He has looked fine. There's been clips of him warming up before games, both Saturday and Monday. He was out there getting shots up. So not anything to be super worried about. I'm eager to see when he's actually going to come back, though, because, I mean, 4 games in a row isn't nothing. And they don't play again until Thursday, so that could be enough time to get him back out on the floor. But if not, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm still of the belief that don't play him if you don't need to. He let him rest. Let him get perfectly healthy before he even steps back onto the basketball court. He says the shoulder's fine. I believe him, but he'll come back when he wants to, if that's the case then. So I'm not worried about Jrue Holiday at all. We talked about it before. This just doesn't seem like the type of thing that's going to hold him out for more than he wants it to, right? So it's fine with me. Let him breathe. I'm all right.
They have to win all the games, Jack. You don't understand. They have the top seed clinched, so they just need to keep winning. I mean, again, I still want them to win, and I think the record talk is fun, but at the end of the day, it does not matter.
They did clinch the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, meaning quite literally the rest of these games do not matter at all for anything.
Well, the only thing they matter for is if you want finals home court, no matter what, which you're still probably going to get. But
sure, yes.
You have to win 5 more games to ensure that Denver, well, depending on if they won tonight or not, 4 or 5 more games to ensure that Denver does not edge you for the best record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're still chasing that best record in the league for home court in the finals, but they're in a good spot. And Jrue Holiday, take your time, right? Don't stress yourself out over that. Speaking of the Celtics just kind of rolling atop the league, Sam, you put this chart in. I'll share the screen here. Celtics are just kind of like far and away better than everybody else in the NBA. And when you put it in, we talked about it, right? For audio listeners, we're looking at a chart with offensive rating on the x-axis and defensive rating on the y-axis. Hopefully I got those actually correct. Offensive rating on the bottom, defensive rating going vertically. And the Celtics are just like in the corner of their own, in the demarcation zone made by this chart maker of historically great. The Hornets, by the way, are historically bad, and the Pistons are not, Sam. So there you go.
Yeah, the Pistons are better.
The Celtics offense is, everyone talked about like, oh, this Pacers offense is amazing. Celtics offense just cleared them, like really not close comparatively to like the Pacers to the rest of the league either. And then defensively, they are a strong second to the Timberwolves, who are way up there, but they're still like, the Celtics are crazy good is the point. Like they have separated themselves into a league of their own up there, at least for the regular season.
It's always strange when you hear about the metrics and the stats and the net ratings and all that, and you're like, oh, whatever. Like we did the thing last show where they were historically good, and I was like, I don't care, but then I was like, I do care. That's kind of what happens when I see a chart. I'm like, like, does this stuff really matter? And then you see like that they are socially distanced from everybody. Like there's nobody even in their same solar system when it comes to net rating. And it's like, wow, yeah, okay. Like they are way better than everybody. It seems like by this chart, obviously Denver's been dealing with Jamal Murray being hurt through parts of this season. So I think you should take their ranking with a grain of salt, but OKC is the second best team and they're kind of separated from the pack too. It's just fun to see, like, oh, wow, there's nobody near the Celtics. The Celtics are lapping everybody. And, I mean, you see it. And for what it's worth with the Celtics, they have had their fair share of injuries, too. Like, Porzingis has missed, 18 games, something like that. Nothing
Relatively
crazy.
speaking,
Nothing.
yeah.
Probably, like, about what we all expected. Jrue
Yeah.
Holiday has now been out for 4 straight games. Derek White actually missed games this year instead of just playing all of them. Tatum and Brown have been healthy.
Well,
but
he's missed like 2. Like, let's not
that's
act
more
like
than
he's
last
missed like
year.
12
Step
games.
in the wrong direction.
The Celtics have been, knock on wood, like they've had good health comparatively to the rest of the league. I think I saw something, they're like top 5 in terms of fewest games missed. So they have been pretty like fortunate, which is a good thing. And that's part of everything, right? Like that's just a part of the game. Like you need to stay healthy. The best ability is the availability. And they've been good at that this season. So credit them for that. Dude, my biggest thing about this chart, the Grizzlies, let's talk about an island. They are such a uniquely bad team. It is kind of impressive. Like they are the worst offense in the league by a pretty wide margin, but their defense is like also like not awful. Like it's actually pretty good. I think it's probably close to top 10, which is insane. That is like not something you see, and you can see that by the fact that they are further away from anybody else than the Celtics are, and the Celtics have been so good. So that is odd to see. Man, that quadrant of woe is truly a sight for sore eyes. It is so ugly down there. That is tragic.
Very populated. All the bad teams.
That it is.
The Toronto Raptors in there, despite like refusing to give up, even though they kind of finally conceded this year, but they for a while were just trying to keep their heads above water. Like, yep, we're going to bring in Schroeder and we'll compete.
They conceded this year, and then they traded a pick at the deadline again. So did they really? Like, what are we doing? And then a huge clump in the pretty good offense, pretty mediocre defense category of Suns, Warriors, Kings, Mavs, Bucks, Clippers, Lakers, Sixers hanging out in that little zone right there, a little clump. But yeah, Celtics are they're lapping the field, and credit to them. So good for them. Speaking of lapping the field, Luke Kornet has been just absolutely killing everybody lately too. Sam put it on here as also call it the apocalypse for the comment section instead of the term you decided to use. But he's been amazing. So credit to Luke Kornet. Here's what
Sam
found
so many links in.
It's okay. I'll share.
Just paste the image.
Luke Kornet this season, career high in rebounds, offensive rebounds, free throw attempts, free throw makes, free throws percentage, and blocks. Season is net rating so far. He's improved every year. In December, it was a minus 5.6, not great. Since then, plus 4.5 in January, plus 11 in February, and plus 19.6 in March. A part of that does come with the territory of the Celtics have just blown teams out. However, they've also had a lot of guys injured as the season has gone on, so he has had to play more. And when he has played more, he has shown to be improving. And so credit to Luke. Luke's been really, really good this year.
He has been. Like, we've talked about Luke a lot because he's kind of a controversial figure, which is not something you would associate with that face that you see on the screen. But people in the comments don't love Luke. Coming into the season, he was pitted against Nemi for that backup rotation big spot. And they both got cracks at it for what it's worth. Like, I feel like Kata played a fair share of minutes, especially earlier in the year. And as we've gone on, Kornet has separated himself. They trade for Tillman. The chatter resurfaces. Yet Kornet is the man that is still consistently in the lineup, and it's because he's just solid. The talk was, hey, listen, if Kornet's out there and you don't notice him, that's a good thing. He's doing his job. He's out there so there is no hole in the team when Al needs some rest, when Porzingis needs some rest. He is able to at least pick up some of the slack. He's not going to create his own three-pointers like Porzingis, but you can dish to him in the dunker spot, and he knows what to do. He's going to be able to finish the layups. He's a good screen and roll guy. You can throw alley-oops to him.
He's the best screener on the team.
Yeah.
By far. Not close.
And he's the anti-Grant with Dallas, where every month he's gotten better. His net rating has gotten better.
That's not
Grant in Dallas was good, less good, terrible. Oh, my God, we have to trade him. He's awful, and we all hate him. We're going to throw him right under the bus and rev the engine, spin the tires. But no, Luke Kornet, excellent. Happy to see him thriving. And, just the bench as a whole has really just been something that you need to have a successful team. A successful team. That's what I'm trying to say. Because there was a lot of talk. Oh, the Celtics gutted their depth. They got rid of Brogdon, got rid of Grant. Robert Williams is not on the team anymore. Oh, wow. Who's going to step in? Who's going to be the guys for them? Sure, they have all this talent at the top, but are we going to run into a Phoenix Suns situation where they just have absolutely nobody to come in the game when the stars need rest? Not the case. Kornet and the boys have been awesome.
Yeah. Credit to them. Also, doubling back, just random, Oliver made a good point in the Celtics blog chat. The Celtics clinched the Eastern Conference before any other team in the NBA clinched the playoffs. So there's that for you.
Is that actually true?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the West is such a slugfest, and the East is so far behind the Celtics that makes sense.
Even if there was no play-in, they would have clinched the Eastern Conference before anybody in the West clinched the playoffs. Think about it that way. It's insane. Truly insane. But yeah, I mean, Kornet, we've been talking about it all year. He's just good, right?
We were first.
As you mentioned, he's gone from just don't want to notice him to, oh, wow, he's actually a genuinely good rotation piece. So credit to him for the way he stepped up.
Can we pull up his last 5? I can do it if you want.
No, I got it.
Or last 5, last 10, like he's actually been filling the stat sheet. And again, he's been getting more minutes. Porzingis missed some games. Horford missed some games where they're just resting, or Porzingis had the hamstring thing where
last
it opens
5
up more minutes.
Last 5, he's averaging 6 points, 6.5, almost 2 assists and 1.5 blocks. Last 10, he is averaging 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.3 blocks, shooting like 65% from the field too. So pretty good. 3 offensive rebounds a game too, which is insane.
For what it's worth, those last 10 numbers are very, very similar to what James Wiseman is averaging for the Pistons, and everyone's like, does he actually have a career ahead of him now? He has a resurgence. So what you're seeing Luke Kornet do is the type of stuff that saves a man's career and reputation.
I guess when you put it in that context, close enough. Sticking with Luke Kornet, though, Adam Himmelsbach recently posted an article to the Boston Globe titled, Luke Kornet is the funniest player in the Celtics, and other tales from the locker room amid this 9-game surge. Sam Hauser walked over, apparently. I'm just gonna read this because he like tells a story, and I can't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, pick it. It says, these Celtics are extremely good at basketball, but a bit short on personalities and voices. When I mentioned this to Coach Mazzulla recently, he smiled and nodded and said he loved it. His general point was that this group, there's little need to be concerned about a fiery quote or interaction that could stir things up and become a distraction. The locker room after Saturday's win over the Bulls, though, there was a rare public snapshot of the camaraderie and levity. So we might as well share it. It started while backup center Luke Kornet was conducting a group interview following his 13-rebound performance and making a few self-deprecating quips about his play. He has improbably emerged as the team's jokester. Then Sam Hauser walked over and said, Luke, who's the funniest guy on the team? He asked. Besides yourself, Tatum chimed in. The slight compliment was not lost on Kornet, who thanked Tatum. Humbly, Derek White said. This was a nod to Tatum's now famous post-game interview after his Game 6 performance against the Sixers, calling him humbly the best player in the world. He appreciated White's recall. Humbly, yes, he said. Kornet resumed answering the question and seemed stumped. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, Hauser said. Kornet wasn't worried about that, so he launched into an answer. Honestly, Derek, no, Tatum booed. Kornet got back to explaining himself. I didn't finish my statement. Derek is funny in the way that, like, when you have children around, they do something adorable and they don't know what, even know what happened. You're just like, oh, shucks. It's more like a laughing at than kind of with thing with Derek.
It's unkind. Assault.
So there's that. Another tidbit he shared was Tatum after the Bulls game didn't have to do post game because he didn't play. And apparently Tatum walked out of the locker room smiling, hyped up, and relished the chance to leave early. He said, I had never been on bus 1 before. And he walked out and got to the first bus and got out of there. And so it just some good vibes, a good vibe story. Shout out to Adam Himmelsbach at the Globe for sharing. But very, very funny.
Does that hurt your feelings, Jack?
What?
Well, he was excited that he didn't have to speak to the press. Pretty much, he fucking hates you.
No, I wouldn't want to speak to us either. Would you? Would you want to go up after a game after you've played 40 minutes?
I speak to the press every single day.
It's not the same thing. Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
Derek White, by the way, who got bamboozled by Benny the Bull.
He did. He did. You want me to pull up the clip?
Pull it up.
I knew you were asking to. You were waiting to ask, but you felt bad because you asked me to pull up 5 things, so you didn't want to ask.
Derek White If you did not see the last time the Celtics were in Chicago, I guess Benny the Bull just like challenges an opposing player to some quick game before every single basketball game. And it was Derek White this time, who he asked to play Uno. And Benny the Bull just dropped all the pickup cards, draw cards on
He's
Derek
none
White.
too
Derek White
pleased.
had seen enough.
None too pleased.
And he goes and gives Hauser like a chest bump. But Jrue Holiday smoked Benny in ping pong. Fucked his shit up.
He had to be ready. He was like, I'm
This
not
time
letting
he
him
said,
get away with it this time.
I am not losing this time.
Benny the Bull, Benny, are you serious about this team? Because your Bulls are fighting for a playing spot and you're playing Uno. I think this questions the validity, the integrity of the game, some would say. This
has just been the storyline surrounding Celtics versus Bulls all year is integrity for the game. That first one when they just beat the brakes off the Bulls, and then everyone was crying that they ran the score up to help their point differential, which was electric.
There is running the score up, and then there's fouling Andre Drummond in the third quarter to make him fucking shoot. That is still the funniest thing I've ever witnessed in real life on a basketball court.
Well, like it was funny, but at the same time, it was actually like a blast to watch. I knew you were there.
Worked. Well, it was a blast for us, but not for the Bulls.
No, but like it was fun because of the in-season tournament. We were like, oh fuck,
yes.
Like, they have to win by a lot. Like I want to see them move on to the knockouts, and they had to run it up on Chicago. Like when they actually went up by like 27 points or whatever the actual number was, the Garden was juiced. People were into it. Like everybody knew what was going on. It was awesome. In November.
Oh, that's where you ended? Oh.
That's where I ended.
Sorry. Pod Sam freezed, and so I didn't know that he didn't have anything else to say after that. But we'll cut it in. We'll leave it. You guys can get an insight into our editing. Yeah, man. The Celtics Bulls has been a whirlwind this year. A whirlwind. I said whirlwind. Last
Need
Celtics
7 games of it. Shut
I
the
do.
fuck up.
I would love 4 games of it, actually.
Yeah, 4 games.
Much
Exactly.
I'd love a series.
Anyone that's like, I need 7 games of this, shut up.
You're such an asshole. Last Celtics thing. You hate NBA fans who aren't Celtics fans.
Yes, like don't wish like added stress on another fan base. Do you ever see me saying 7 games of this, please? Unless I'm actively rooting for the teams to wear each other out. Like I'm not doing it out of excitement. I'm doing it because I want to see my team win.
So you never actively root for the misery of another fan base?
No, I do.
But
I'm not. They're not doing that. That's not what they're doing.
You're right. You're doing it out of spite. They're doing it for their own enjoyment. In terms of
they're
like
neglecting that they are negatively impacting people. At least I'm doing it on purpose. And like I want to see the Knicks lose.
So you think theirs is worse?
Yes.
Okay.
Because at least I'm aware of the consequences of my actions. They're just loafing through like people littering. Like, I don't want to throw this in the trash, and then a turtle dies. It's the same thing as rooting for a 7-game series. I'm the turtle.
Last Celtics thing before we get to the email. Did you just like? So Sam made the sheet today. Did you scroll through Reddit and find random shit to put on here? What is this?
No, I did. I went on Reddit today just looking to catch up on Celtic stuff because usually I find like the non-mainstream, like what people are talking about things, just so it's like not what you read on Twitter today. And some guy's just hyped in the subreddit, and he's like, let's say hypothetically the Celtics win a championship this year, and I hypothetically want to get a tattoo to celebrate. What should I get? He's like, front runner is Derek White's face from that one funny picture, super close up on Derek White.
God, no.
we ask each other, and we will ask you in the comments to say, what would your Celtics themed championship tattoo be? As we sit here on March 25th,
a genuine or like a funny. Ha-ha.
Do one of each.
Funny haha would be like the hashtag NEBH injury report update. You just get the new one.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
A real one. I mean, you'd probably just have to like design something cool. Like if you just tattooed the number 18, but like an outline of it. And then inside you just have like a bunch of photos from like the runs. Like if Tatum like has a big game, you put like a picture of Tatum and like a famous image that goes out of him screaming. You can do a jersey, stuff like that, and just fill in the 18 with a bunch of Celtic stuff. And I feel like that'd be a good tattoo. That's not like super basic, like, oh, I'll get a shamrock or I'll get the 2024 chance, but like something that like what people who watch the run would understand.
If I wanted to like fully capture this team's like grit, like the identity of this team, I'd probably do the Missoula trying to block Royce O'Neal. Blurry and all. Because I like how like the only image of it is a zoomed in screenshot of the game broadcast. So I always get a kick out of it.
It's great. It's just like, it's because he's like, he's not a small dude, but he looks small in the image. He's like, please, wait, no.
Yeah, he does look small. You're absolutely right. But like, he's like our height. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
It's just funny.
And Series 1, just the banner. But I would start like the banners on my back. So I would like do like I would be able to update it. You got to make sure you put it in a place like my back can be the rafters of like the ones I saw as an adult. It's just one.
I see. I was gonna say, yeah.
Like, why does this guy have like an off-centered like tattoo on his back?
Fucked up. All right, let's check on in with the email. A reminder: comment what's popping. No, what's popping today because no one entered. But comment what's popping on the podcast for a chance to be entered to win a $10 Incognito gift card. We'll put you on the wheel. You'll have a chance to win. Again, comment what's popping below. But let's go see what people have to say. Let me open it up. All right. First one. I have to clear out another Incognito thing. All right. RJ first. Sorry, I had to clear out the emails. I know. I had to clear it out. First one. RJ. Afternoon, fellas. Looking forward to the playback tonight. This was a couple days ago, so this is before the previous playback. We'll be back on playback last night, but we were
be
back
there no matter what.
We'll be on a future one soon. I think are we on the Pelicans game? I think we're on the Pelicans game too.
So you're on the Pelicans game, and I might be on the Pelicans game.
I'm on the Pelicans game.
Yeah.
RJ says, afternoon, fellas. Looking forward to the playback tonight. As we approach the end of the season, let's look at the 15th roster spot and who will fill it. I don't think Brad will simply leave it blank because why go into the playoffs shorthanded against the opposition? No, I'm not expecting Mr. 15 to be the key to banner a team, but you buy insurance because you don't know when you'll need it. Jordan Walsh is on a full contract, so his spot at the end of the bench is guaranteed. No Blake Griffin deals as it's too late for him to be on the playoff roster.
Is that true? I don't think that's true.
It's not true. I think he can still technically play. It's just if you are on another team to start the season. Yes. Like Isaiah Thomas could play for the Suns.
Blake Griffin, by the way, sorry to interrupt, who I did not see this until today, apparently did like a Costco appearance in January. He was like giving out samples. Yeah. Tell me he can't come play for the Celtics, but he's going to go work at Costco.
Well, Costco's probably in LA. He's probably out.
Do they have Costco out there? I thought Costco was like a mid-Atlantic thing.
I don't think so. I think it's all over.
We have like one Costco.
Yeah, no, there's Costco's out there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Anyways. Of the 3 2-way guys, Drew Peterson, it's the longest shot based on his having had the least run with the parent club. I like his game, but he would only get elevated if something happened to the Tatum, Brown, Hauser, Brissett's feline of talent. J.D. Davison has made progress in Maine this year. Would have had him on the outside looking in as well, except for his contract status going into the year. C's can't give him a third 2-way. But more importantly, if Drew's arm woes continued to the end of the regular season, he would be an emergency ball handler depth, more likely than Peterson, but just a little. That leaves it with Nemish Cato winning the 15th roster spot. He's played well enough when pressed into service and is showing signs of a continued improvement throughout the season. Even with both Porzingis and Horford healthy, Coach Mazzulla has favored using 3 centers per game, while Al has only missed game for scheduled rest. He'll be 38 years old by the finals, and KP has been dinged up throughout the year. Taking out an insurance policy for center depth makes sense. What are your thoughts, RJ? Or be well, RJ. Feel free to save this for Talking C's too. I'd love Bobby Take. Well, this is proof we don't read the emails before we get on the show. So sorry, we do not take a look at these. I'm feeling more and more like Brad's just not going to fill it. But at the end of the day, I think Nemi will just end up getting it. But I don't know.
Yeah, Nemi makes the most sense. He's spent the most time with this group, and if like you're really worried about guys getting hurt, I guess you're most worried about the big guys. Horford being old, Porzingis being really tall and long. Makes them kind of susceptible to injuries. So if you really had a hole to plug, that would probably be what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll guess Nemi. That's where my bet lies. What's popping? Just win, baby. Evening, guys. Saturday was an ugly game when you think about it. Bull shot 50% overall, won the turnover battle while the C's without KB, JB, and Drew. And Boston won by 11 on the road. Everyone is getting comfortable with grinding out wins. Luke, PP, Hauser, Brissett, Tillman, even Jaden Springer, who only played 4 seconds in the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, to prevent the Bulls from getting a buzzer beater. This is what championship teams do. Be well, RJ. Yeah, we talked about this a million times. played nobody, and they played lost 3 of their starters, and they were just still beat them. It didn't matter. Did not matter at all.
I can't help but be excited about Springer. Just love the grit. He is like on my list of guys that I'm just overly excited about for no reason.
I'm happy for you. Good for you. What is this? Pete, why I miss Bulls C's. Happy Sunday, gents. Just want to touch base as I like being a quote regular at the pre-games, but I heard Sam mention on the recap that you were with your sister during the game. So was I, not with your sister, but my own. Well, I was going to say, Pete, we went to see.
That would have been more fire if you were just like, how were you with your sister, Jack? I was with her.
We went to see Postmodern Jukebox. Great show. Very energetic. Worth a visit. I attached a 15-second video to give you a taste, though their YouTube channel is quite well known. Looking forward to the playoffs so I can see KP play real minutes again. I'm glad PP, Hauser, and Horford are excelling, though. Some of those bench guys are about to get expensive. Cheers, Pete.
Oh,
Pete
nice picture, Pete.
We can take a look at this. Maybe we can. Yeah, I can. We can. Hold up.
Download it to your computer.
yeah, it's fun.
How funny would it be if Pete like intentionally just gave you like a virus?
This is what Pete was. Can I share instead? Oh, I'll have to stop and then share again. Sorry.
Probably just share like, your
yeah.
actual whole screen.
This is Postmodern Jukebox. Let's just show. I thought it was like a musical. That's fun. I will say, at this point in the season, probably better than watching Celtics Bulls. So credit to you.
That it might be.
There you go.
I had no sound for that, so you may have
no
to.
Sound?
No, I didn't get any sound, and I said it, but you definitely had sound on your end. So I was saying I have no sound, and you couldn't hear me say it.
Nope. And it's whatever. Well, shout out
That's
Pete.
Okay. We won't get copyright stricken from the orchestra.
Shout out Pete, and no worries.
Yes.
You're no worries about being a regular.
No, actually, anybody that misses pregame, you need to send us like a doctor's note type thing like this, so we know why you weren't there.
Pete with the second email. Sorry for the multiple emails. Never apologize.
Never
Pete, send us a million emails, please.
Yes.
Ramadan. Sorry for multiple emails, gents, but I wanted to mention some Ramadan stories from my time in Southeast Asia. I lived in Singapore from 05 to 07, then in Malaysia from 16 to 19. One of my colleagues in Singapore had to take some time to fulfill his national service obligations. The exercise happened to coincide with Ramadan. My colleague Zul, shortened from Fazul Hamli, proceeded to march through the Malaysian jungle. Yes, the Singaporeans train there sometimes with a full backpack and rifle without being able to eat or drink while the sun was up. I don't know how that works physically, but it's one of the most badass things I can imagine. I have a great deal of respect for people of faith who test themselves rather than others. Another minor etiquette note: if you happen to find yourself in the company of fasting Muslims, it's considered rude to eat or drink in front of them. I did know this. Obviously, that's not a big concern in most places in the U.S., but it never hurts to consider. There are, of course, exceptions to Ramadan fasting. Pregnant women and the infirm are not required to fast. As you might imagine, they throw feasts for days after Ramadan called slightly different things across the world, but the intent is to eat and celebrate life. I can get behind all that, and oh my God, the food. Sorry for all the words. I hope someone finds them useful. Just my perspective. I'm no religious scholar. Cheers, Pete. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, to imagine what Jalen has to deal with I know he downplayed it and he talked about the aids that he gets like from being a professional athlete, the people that he has probably helping him with this.
Yeah.
But like still the amount of physical stuff he has to do, very similar to your friend, can't be very easy. Now, fortunately, it's in March, and I remember Kyrie was doing Ramadan in the playoffs in 22 against the Celtics. That was like late April, early May. So the days are longer. At least like this is a little bit where the sun is going down earlier than it would in like June. That would be. It didn't Hakeem Olajuwon play in the finals during Ramadan, and it was June. That probably would be the true test. But I mean, tons of respect for anybody participating. It's no easy feat. Back when I was working at the nursing home, one of our coworkers, he was doing Ramadan, and we were in a nursing home kitchen. So respect. That man would work doubles too. He was like 18. He had come over and he was going to school here. So the man was a warrior.
Respect.
Like, around all the food all day. Like, talk about rude. He's feeding people. He's got us, like me making ice cream sundaes with 4 cups and crushed Oreos. Like, I don't know. I was like 20. I was enjoying all the rewards of working in the kitchen.
God damn. Thank you for the story, Pete. We appreciate you. Your friend does, in fact, sound like a badass. I agree.
Yes.
Last email from RJ. What's poppin'? Hey, these guys don't suck. Morning, fellas, and happy birthday check. Thank you, RJ. Today's title is my summary of the national media having run out of every other narrative about the Celtics and their coach and their bench, finally recognizing, in their own way, of course, that this year's Celtics aren't just 6 superstars in a bag of laundry. But even for fans and writers who have been watching this team from Summer League, we all have our moments of clarity. Example, I stopped worrying about Pritchard's playmaking because of this play. What were some of yours? Be well, RJ, because of this play. Let's see. He didn't
just the Jalen Brunson play at USA camp.
Imagine. He did timestamp it. Can I get it without an ad? Nope. I'll watch the ad so you don't have to, and then I will share with you. Hold, please.
Jack is the meme of like the military guy taking all the knives to the back while somebody's sleeping. That's Jack watching the ad.
I got a back. So give me 1 second here. We are struggling through this.
Respect to YouTube because they do carry us, but they've been on some shit with the ads lately. Just they give you the skip option and then they just skip you right to the next ad instead of skipping all ads.
I should have gone on my main account because I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't have ads. Here we go. Oh yeah, dude, I watch way too much YouTube not to have YouTube Premium. I watch like hours, so it
definitely is worth an investment, especially with what they're doing now.
So this is the play that made RJ not worried about Pritchard's playmaking. So let's take a look. Pritchard drives, gets in the lane,
does the Steve Nash dribble.
Yeah. He is putting up Steve Nash numbers, Sam.
He is, in fact, putting up Steve Nash numbers.
Good for him.
So the question was, what do we have specific plays that kind of made us feel better about our guys this season?
About Pritchard, in general, I guess. I think just him being a monster. There's this one picture that's floating around. I don't know if you saw it. It's like Pritchard and Joe on the sidelines. Have you seen this?
Oh, I tweeted that one because I saw it after the game when that happened. I was like, this is just simply awesome.
Yeah. Let me find it. It's like Pritchard made a good play, and Joe
is hyped.
You said you tweeted it?
Yeah.
Can I find it if
you
scroll to your Twitter?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Is it my headphones or is it you?
I don't think it's me.
Interesting.
You can't hear me at all?
Oh, it is me.
Jack going to the monitor.
Are you still talking?
I'm talking now.
Oh, welcome back. All right. Well, my headphones just disconnected from my computer and reconnected, so I'm here.
What? I hope I hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah, if you were, it's definitely they could hear you. What was I talking about? This Joe picture.
You were talking about the Peyton Pritchard picture.
How long ago did he tweet the picture out? I want to try to find it.
Whenever the day was that it happened.
I hope I can find it quickly.
Just go to media. I don't tweet that many pictures.
I know. Then why don't I see it?
The hell is it?
You tweeted from pod account?
I might have quote. No, I tweeted from my account. I might have quote tweeted this.
Oh, you baited me.
And I can't find it via notifications because I have the Benny the Bull tweet in there.
I found it. This picture. This is the picture I knew when I wasn't worried about Pritchard or the Celtics. This right here. This right here. Joe's screaming. Joe and Charlie screaming as Pritchard nails a three, and Pritchard's just fucking pumped up as they're wailing on the Pistons. This is when I knew I was
showboating is bad luck for what it's worth against our Pistons. For me, it was the Bucks game. It's a very like lame, generic response to you, but something about Pritchard's play in that game was different to me. It felt like he had control over the offense. It felt like they could play through him. And it felt like Milwaukee didn't have any kind of answer for the energy or shot making that he was bringing to the table. So I was like, oh my gosh, like if they have this in the playoffs, watch out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So credit to Pritchard. He's been good. Let's move on to the NBA. Check in with the standings. See how teams are doing around the league. I will change background. Pull up the standings.
Okay, pull it up. Spoiler alert, Celtics are top of the East.
Sorry if we ruined that for you. We didn't mean to. It's just we had to get it out of the way. Celtics have an 11-game lead on the Bucks. They have officially clinched the playoffs and the 1 seed. Bucks are back there. They have separated themselves. They're probably going to get the 2 seed. They're 3 games ahead of the Cavs, barring a collapse. Cavs, meanwhile, half a game ahead of the Knicks, who are half a game ahead of the Magic, who are 2.5 games ahead of the Pacers. So those 3 teams. Shout out to Magic, man. They looked dead for a while, and they clawed their way back. Like they were having a really rough mid-season.
Picked the correct time of year.
Yeah. Credit to them. Pacers only half a game ahead of the Heat and the Sixers, who are 7-8 right now. However, the Heat and the Sixers are not helping themselves. They are 4-6 in the last 10 each, so not great. Cavs also, by the way, 3-7 in their last 10. They are not having a good time. They got killed by the Heat last night too. Patty Mills.
They used all their energy to
Juice.
beat the Celtics that one day.
All their juice. Celtics took it from them. Meanwhile, there's no point in talking about the rest of the East from here on out. The Bulls and the Hawks are going to get 9-10. The Nets, Raptors suck. The Hornets, Wizards, Pistons suck.
Raptors have reached double digits, though. 10 in a row.
Yep.
In the loss column for those boys up north.
There you go. Also, Sam, disaster state for your Pistons, who are now a full game behind the Wizards for worst team in the league again.
Wizards are hot. Sometimes you go up against a hot team and you're not going to win. It just happens to the best. I mean, listen, they played the 9-win streak Celtics twice in the last 10. True. It's tough.
You're right.
It's hard.
Nuggets now atop the East, 3 in a row for them. They're half a game above the Thunder, who are half a game above the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are only a game back of the Nuggets in first. Clippers have fallen out of that race and are now in a race for 4-5 with the Pelicans. That's probably going to be the first round series, Clippers-Pels. It's just a matter of who gets home court advantage. Pelicans are only half a game behind them. They just have one more loss. Suns, 8 games back of the 1 seed. They are only half a game above the Kings and the Mavs, though. Lakers get 2.5 games above the Warriors. And the Warriors 4-6 in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Rockets streaking only a game behind the Warriors now for that last play-in spot.
Okay. Draymond Green said the Warriors aren't worried about the Rockets. Said it yesterday.
Now, I saw this too. I'm pretty sure that was taken out of context. I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly what he said, but he commented on the Instagram post and said, wow, so you guys just aren't going to post the full clip. This is gross.
The full clip was like him talking about their team, though. I think he was like saying, we need to be better. We need to be better at this, blah, 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 blah. We're not worried about being better than the Rockets.
Yes, which is a fine quote, except when you take out the part where he just says, we don't care about the Rockets. So that's some grimy work from
me. I mean, I had seen the thing and I still went and said it. But you were not worried about the Rockets. You, Jack Simone, were not worried about the Rockets. And I said, watch out.
When was this?
Like last week or something. You were like, it seems like the bottom West is dead. I was like, I don't know. It wasn't like a real poke at the Rockets. It was the same thing you do in the East. No, but they are hot at the right time, just like the Magic.
You're right. My bad. Hands up. I apologize for not thinking the Rockets would win 8 in a row without their best player. My bad, guys.
You should apologize.
And then, well, if you would excuse me, the rest of the West is in fact just
is dead.
They're gone. Jazz, Grizzlies, Blazers, Spurs, all tragic. Anyways, next NBA thing we've got, or excuse me, I guess not NBA. March Madness. We can see how that's been going. I'll pull up the March Madness bracket. You know what? Let's go to let's go to the HBTC tournament challenge and see who's winning.
They don't.
No, let's do it. Let's take a look. So HBTC group, shout out to bomb.com, first place, tied with Jordan. Our friend Cam is also up there as well. Joey Spatula's in 4th place. Timo, we missed his comment in the Talking Seas today, but he goes, going from 1st to 13th has sent me spiraling into a deep depression.
It is tough.
Timo is now in 13th place in the bracket. But let's see how the bracket is going. Let me take a little click here. The official HBTC bracket is terrible. We are on to the Sweet 16. UConn, San Diego State, Illinois, and Iowa State making it out of the East. Houston, Duke, NC State, and Marquette making it out of there. I think I had NC State here in my bracket. So I'm actually, maybe I had Kentucky, but I had NC State making it a little fit. North Carolina, Alabama, Clemson, and Arizona making it there. And then Purdue, Gonzaga, Creighton, and Tennessee. NC State's the only double-digit seed left. And yeah, that's what's going on. Pretty chalk, I'd say. It's a pretty boring.
You think my bracket would have did better?
Yeah, except you were too chalk. Even somehow, some way.
I ate chalk on this one. Just straight up ate it.
Is there a bracket for the women's? I want to see the women's bracket too. What the hell? Let's see. Interesting. Iowa.
Well, say about the women's tournament.
They're not in the Sweet 16 yet.
They play the games at home.
Oh, do they?
I know the men's tournament is probably making money from renting out, let's say, the Barclays, just because I know there were games there. And like the Barclays probably like bids for that. And like, it's like the All-Star game where they're trying to make money, but it's more fun to have these games at like a non-neutral site. The first couple rounds should be like that. And then you can consolidate.
Shout out to Holy Cross for getting fed to the Wolves in the first round. Holy Cross making a tournament.
It's okay.
W.
Yeah.
They made it. They did have to win to get there. They were in the first 4. So
Is that in Worcester?
yeah.
Respect.
That's Tommy. Come on.
Oh, I know that's where Kuzi and Tommy went to school, but I didn't know if it was in Worcester. I knew it was in Mass.
Yes. It is Worcester. All right, Sam, you put something on here about free throws, and I have no idea what it is. So please.
So, last night the Lakers beat the Pacers. The Pacers almost pulled off a 19-point comeback, and they fell short. And after the game, Rick Carlisle was none too pleased. He said, there were certain things that were impossible to overcome. The 27 free throw differential is one, and the 17 foul differential is the other. And I'll leave it at that. Now, good friend of the show, even though he's never been on the show, but he has provided tons of content for the show. Andy Bailey did a list of all NBA teams, and he ranked them by net free throw attempts since the start of last season, including the playoffs. Number 1, the Los Angeles Lakers, 1,017 more free throws than their opponents. In second place, the Knicks, also not surprising, at plus 358. So a little bit of a difference between 1 and 2. Some would say that this list is very similar to the Eastern Conference standings, where the Celtics are just head and shoulders above the rest. And then number 3 is Milwaukee, plus 344, Orlando, plus 311, and then the Celtics are 5th with plus 271. If you combine all 4 of those teams, you will be more than the Lakers, but not by much. Not by much.
That is insane. Who's last on the list? Was it a full list or was it just top 5?
It was on the Dunk Central. I don't have it pulled up anymore because I didn't want to put the whole list on here because I did not want to read the whole list.
I'm just curious who's been like screwed the most by it. I'm gonna go take a
Probably
look.
our Pistons, if I had to guess. Would not shock me.
I hope the Pistons are super high up on this list. They're third to last.
Golden State.
Yeah, the Warriors last, which does make sense because they take a lot of threes. Pacers are second to last, to Rick Carlisle's credit. But that Lakers number is insane.
I wonder why.
It's really crazy. All right, yeah, that's I don't believe the Lakers number is real. I believe that it is real, but I can't. It's hard for me to believe.
The spirit of David Stern lives on.
Jesus Christ. All right, next thing is the Nets organizational mismanagement. It was reported by Shams that the Nets turned down a trade offer from the Rockets that included Jalen Green and multiple first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. How many times have I come on here and said, I don't think Mikal Bridges should be untouchable? How many times? A million
I put
times.
this on here just for you because I knew this is like you're right up your alley. You think Mikal Bridges is good, but he's not like, hey, maybe we shouldn't just take all the assets we can get for him. Good.
And shout out Jalen Green, who's been a monster lately, and credit to him for like taking the torch and leading the Rockets on this winning streak and scoring 1 million points. Like he's put up 37, 26, 42, 26, 41 in his last 5. Like it's insane. I didn't even think he was this good, but I still would have done this trade. How do you not do this trade? You're getting a second overall pick from 2 years ago and multiple first round picks for a guy you're going to have to give a max contract to in a couple of years that, with all due respect, is not a number 1 on a championship team and is 27 years old. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I love Mikal Bridges. Not only he's a great person, he's a great basketball player. He came in second in DPOY a few years ago. He's just not like, they're treating him like he's Tatum or Luka or Shea. Like, I'm sorry, he's not, guys.
Yeah, he's also like older than you think.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges turns 28 in August.
Yeah.
Guys, what are we fucking doing? What are we doing? There was a report that the Pelicans offered 5 firsts. You said no? Guys, what are we doing? It's not like you have your own first anyways, right? And that could be, oh, well, then they should compete. No, it means go get more because you don't have your own. It's not like you're good. You're not even going to
get all the draft picks you can get.
Tragic. Tragic. The Nets are fucking morons. Also, shout out the Cavs. This is random. Just Free Jared Allen. Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of him. Free. Here he is. Remember that trade? Remember the Oladipo to Houston? Trade. Yeah, the Harden. No, it was a different one. Jared Allen was in the Oladipo trade, Karis LeVert trade. He was free. You don't remember that?
I thought that was connected to Harden.
Oh, you're right. It was when I forgot Harden got traded multiple fucking times. You're right. Jared Allen was traded to the Nets or by the Brooklyn Nets, but the Rockets didn't want him, and so he just went to the Cavs for like fucking nothing for free. It's just insane. All right, next NBA. I'm getting a phone call and it's not shutting off. Next NBA thing. Adam Silver, I have the video here. We can watch it. Is exploring different ways to adjust the All-Star game.
It's his passion. It's all he cares about. This dude was devastated last month when the All-Star game was a joke. He was humiliated up at center court, giving the East the trophy, giving Dame the MVP trophy. And I say good. Maybe you should worry about your stupid jerseys, Adam, and how dumb they make the visiting team look when they are the incorrect color.
Here's the video of him talking about the All-Star game and potential changes.
Shifted from when you were a player. I think particularly young players, they see it as, again, a mid-season break, an opportunity to have fun, an opportunity to take break from a very long season. I mean, we roughly have 1,300 games over the course of the year, all incredibly competitive games. And I think they see that as something different. They see it. I mean, there's always an entertainment aspect to our league. And I think it shifted from when you were a player. And I think to the point where when I saw the popularity of Steph versus Sabrina, see what's happening in the women's game, that we should just be looking to do different things and just make it a celebration of basketball. I mean, we're going to look at U.S. versus international. I just think maybe we're past that point where we're going to play a truly competitive game. And by the way, it's happened in other sports.
I think the players aren't into it.
I think particularly.
Can you rewind that just to the end?
Yeah, 1 sec. Back on 1 sec.
I don't even know if I'm connected.
I mean,
you're here.
Past that
what
point
is this?
Where we're going to play a truly.
Is this it?
Look at U.S. versus international. I just think maybe we're past that point where we're going to play a truly competitive game. And by the way, it's happened in other sports.
Especially if the players aren't.
Sam's reconnecting, but Adam Silver is hanging on for dear life with this thing.
Just
and
like
Charles Barkley. Were you referencing Charles Barkley's blank stare at him?
Charles just like, what are you talking about, buddy?
Yeah, they are beyond the point. Beyond the point of playing a competitive game anymore. Charles Barkley is just not having it.
Look at that.
Also, why is Charles Barkley on CNN? What are we doing?
I don't know. They probably just brought him along because he's good personality and Silver's like cardboard because he has to be as the commissioner. He can't really like say anything fun. I like that they're going to make it U.S. versus World, so like the Patriots can get behind the U.S. team.
They're considering it. They're throwing it out there. All right, should we go to March Madness bracket?
Pull it up.
Let's do this. So we're not doing food today. We're doing food adjacent. We are going to be
food adjacent,
taking a look at the best. Some of them aren't even foods. The best brand mascots, the best brand spokespeople, which are the best. So let's take a look. How many shuffles am I hitting here?
Just do two.
2 shuffles. 1 shuffle, 2 shuffle. Here we go. Well, I accidentally clicked. I need matchup mode. Okay, first matchup we have is the Coca-Cola polar bear versus the Eat More Chicken cow, which is Chick-fil-A's mascot. I mean, I love me some Chick-fil-A, but we're purely just mascots here. What are your thoughts?
So I think the cow is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a very morbid, like, hey, you should eat our product. But the polar bear is such an iconic character that has just been in so many ads forever. I feel like that's a tough one to beat.
I feel like respectfully, you have to go polar bear.
Yes.
I'll agree with you. Next, we have what looks like a Bud Light dog, which I don't know, versus the Clip It. What is this paper clip?
Clippy? Is that Clippy from Clip Art?
Perhaps.
It's like when you use Word or something, they tell you what to do.
This is a random one because I'm not like super familiar associated with either, but I kind of fuck with Clippy. I like the paper clip.
Yeah,
I like them.
And I think the other one's just making fun of an ugly dog.
Well, that's not very nice, but I agree. We'll go Clippy. Next, we have Little Debbie versus Mickey Mouse.
LeBron. Oh, sorry.
Mickey Mouse is an icon.
Mickey Mouse is probably the most popular mascot ever. Little Debbie falls in a
It's
tough
very tough.
battle early.
We have a terrifying looking Chuck E. Cheese versus the Gerber baby. I don't want to pick either of these. I don't feel comfortable picking either of these mascots.
This is a great bracket. I'm so happy we landed on this.
I think we got to go Chuck E. Cheese because I don't want to pick the child.
Yeah, I think we go Chuck E. Cheese.
We have Pringles guy versus the Pillsbury Doughboy. See, I like the Pringles guy, but they fucking massacred him. Have you seen the new Pringles guy?
Didn't they like make him 3D?
No, worse.
Also, not for nothing, I feel like the Pringles guy feels like a ripoff of the Monopoly guy.
Look at this. Look what they did to my boy. Why?
Oh no, they got rid of his waves.
Right? They got rid of his super cool, like the texture. Like, how do you look at that and tell me that's better than the OG Pringles?
The new Pringles logo reminds me of like what the Clippers did last decade when they rebranded their jerseys and they just made all the lettering flat instead of like cursive.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Pillsbury goes.
You think Pillsbury?
Iconic.
I think he is better. He's better as a character. Pringle guys. Cool. The Jolly Green Giant versus Buc-ee's, which is a gas station chain in Texas. Which, if you're not familiar, Buc-ee's is like 7-Eleven on steroids for them. Yeah, so it's like a big deal. Like they had a lot of shit. It's like what's that one in New York in the mid Atlantic? No. It starts with a W.
Wawa. Caleb
Wawa, yeah.
Wawa.
It's like a bigger Wawa for them down there, I think. I'm pretty sure at least. So that's what this Buc-ee's Beaver is versus the Jolly Green Giant.
I have an answer for you. We have to run with the Green Giant.
Oh my God. Why do you have that? Why do you have a punk?
Because when I used to play 2K a ton, when you would get a green
giant, yes,
you would reference the Green Giant. Shout out to Troy Dan. So I have this, so we have to put it through. And I just did like fucking gymnastics level pretzeling to fucking grab it.
I saw. Respect. All right, I'm down with the Green Giant. We now have Mr. Bubble versus the Snuggle teddy bear.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Is Bubbles also a detergent? Or are they bubble gum?
I think it's Bubble Bath. Mr. Bubble.
I like the bear. Bubble bath?
Like Snuggy Bear. Yeah. Next
is
we have
taking bubble baths. Is that a thing?
Do you know who this dude is? I don't know who this is.
I don't think I want to know who that is.
There is an old guy versus the Pepperidge Farms elf.
The Keebler elf.
Keebler elf. Sorry, yes. Keebler elf. I fuck with the Keebler elf.
I don't know who he is. The other guy. I'm very curious.
I really hope now that we have a platform that people respond to comments. Please let us know who this is.
Tell us who that guy is and tell us if we fucked up.
Maybe we're bad. We have Coke Bear versus Clippy. Sorry, Clippy. I think you're cooked. I think Clippy.
Yeah, if you see Clippy in a fight with a bear, help Clippy.
The battle of the mouse versus the rat.
The rat.
Chuck E. Cheese versus Mickey Mouse. I think the rat has to fall. Yeah, rat has to fall. Mickey Mouse. Jolly Green Giant versus Pillsbury. Respect for the Green Giant still?
Yeah, respect to the Green Giant. I just like bent in 20 ways to display that.
And then we've got Snuggle Bear versus Keebler Elf. I kind of fuck with the elf.
The elf is fire. Anytime you see that elf, you're in for like a nice 5 to 10 minutes of enjoying whatever snack.
So you mentioned before we've got the Coca-Cola Bear versus Mickey Mouse. You said it would take a lot to take down the Coca-Cola Bear. I think Mickey Mouse.
It would take Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I think Mickey Mouse has got to take him down. He's going on a Mickey Mouse run, baby. Green Giant versus Keebler Elf.
Keebler Elf.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that, but I was going to allow you to respect. I'm glad.
No.
I like the Keebler Elf. Unfortunately, he does get waxed here by Mickey Mouse.
Close second.
Who just rolls on. Kool-Aid guy versus Tricks. Talk about a fucking 1-1 seed, man. This is a hard hitter.
I love the Kool-Aid man.
I do too.
I love that what Family Guy has done with the Kool-Aid man. Just a funny like bust through the wall, like good meme. The Tricks rabbit is essentially.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm in on the. Oh yeah, is right.
We have Tootsie Pop guy versus the Huggy.
The Charmin toilet paper.
Sorry.
Fan.
Which
I contend is a very strange commercial.
I fuck with the Bears. I like them.
You like the Bears?
I'm a fan. Yeah,
All
better than this guy. I don't know. He weirds me out. I don't like the way he's.
I like the how many licks does it take because the world may never know is just a great
What
reusable.
the fuck? So we have KFC,
Colonel
Mr.
Sanders.
Colonel Sanders versus Geico Gecko. But Colonel Sanders has been made to look like a fucking supermodel. Like
Well, they do live action Colonel Sanders commercials. Like they have like Rob Riggle has played Colonel Sanders in commercials.
I feel like we might disagree here. I like the Gecko.
I like the Gecko too. That was my
good.
lead.
I'm glad.
I think Geico has so many great commercials, and they're an insurance company that everybody knows just based on commercials.
Sorry,
this dog just can't catch a break, man.
We have the Target dog versus the Honey Nut Cheerios guy. I just think it's funny that the dog is not sitting but hovering over the mat. No, he's not sitting down.
Oh, I'm laughing because this damn ugly dog just keeps getting trotted out there for different logos. Budweiser, now Target.
I like this dog better though. I like
abused.
him. I like him now though. I don't know. I like the dog, but if you want to go with the honeybee, I don't care.
I used to see the honeybee commercials as a kid for Cheerios, but I think the ugly dog deserves a shout. Just because they trotted him out there again. Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee versus the Chihuahua at Taco Bell. You want to know the best part, Sam? Do you remember Webkins? You ever have Webkins as a child?
Yes.
So
I thought about Webkins not that long ago, actually.
You could load it into the game. Maybe we play Webkins on stream this summer. You
never.
You load it into the game and you name it, right?
Yeah.
I got a Chihuahua Webkins toy. You want to know what I named it?
You name it Taco?
No, I named it Yo Quiero Taco Bell. All one word. The slogan on the screen next to the fucking Chihuahua.
That's good marketing.
My brain dead 8-year-old brain said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna name it I fucking want Taco Bell in Spanish." And so that was his name. His name was full length Yo Quiero Taco Bell. That said, I fucking hate Chihuahuas. They're rat dogs. So I'm happy to go with Chef Boyardee.
I was going to say, Chef is going through. That. Look at that fucking face.
He's a beast. We have Charlie Tuna for tuna fish versus Wendy for Wendy's. Fun fact, you know, it's her neckline says a mom because their mom passed away.
Oh, I did not know that. But I thought you were going to say, and I forget where I saw this, and forgive me for what I'm about to say, but I did see that the Wendy's girl is not very, very good looking. That this drawing is
that's so fucked. That's so fucked up. I'm down for Wendy though.
Wendy gets to go through because I was just mean to her. Listen, if I'm going to make fun of the dog, I'll make fun of Wendy.
We have Flo from Progressive versus Ronald McDonald.
Ronald McDonald has to go through, man. Look at him.
He does, but I'm sad about it. I don't like
Flo is a great character.
I like Flo better than Ronald, but Ronald's just iconic.
Ronald is an icon.
Yeah. Next, we've got the Battle of the Syrups. Oh my God, we have Aunt Jemima versus Mrs.
Did we shuffle this?
Yes, twice. I like Aunt Jemima's better.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima can go through because there's a lot of story with that was fucked.
Oh,
maybe we shouldn't put it through then. I don't know. Basically, they weren't paying the family royalties for using Aunt Jemima.
Oh, what the fuck?
So they changed it. That's why it got changed.
That is so fucked.
Yeah, like they didn't just change it because of like they were pressured to change it. Like, no, they changed it because they didn't want to pay them.
Oh yeah, that is cooked. Fuck that. Kool-Aid guy versus the Charmin Bears. Kool-Aid guy clears.
Kool-Aid.
Not close. Geico the Gecko versus the ugly Target dog. I think the Gecko is going to roll here.
Put the dog out of its misery with all due respect.
He has a target on his face. He tells you where to shoot. Wendy's versus...
rare Jack snipe. All right, Jack is in.
Wendy's versus Chef Boyardee. Purely mascot? Chef, yeah, purely mascot. Chef Boyardee.
Thinking about those commercials where the can like follows the kid home. Interesting.
We've got Aunt Jemima's versus McDonald. Ronald McDonald is too iconic. He's got to go through. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he's too iconic. Kool-Aid guy versus Geico Gecko. I like Geico Gecko better, but I can't bring myself to get rid
I
of
think the
Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid
guy.
man has made me laugh too many times.
That's what I'm saying. I fuck with the Kool-Aid guy. He's a beast. Fuck yeah. Next one, Chef Boyardee versus Ronald McDonald. I kind of want to just put the chef through.
I
really
think
wanna
both of these faces are just kind of equally creepy.
They are. But I'd trust my child with the chef more than I would with Ronald. So
I think when I buy a home, I'm just gonna put portraits of all these characters in my house.
You have the fucking ugly dog hanging over your bed.
I know somebody that had that dog.
Nah, that's
Somebody I
fucked
used
up.
to work with has the dog. Yeah.
That's so foul. Are we going Ronald or are we going Chef?
Put Chef through. Look at that
Fuck
smile.
yeah. I think he loses to Kool-Aid guy, though.
Yeah, Kool-Aid Man is in the
Kool-Aid
final.
Man.
Only to get stomped by the mouse.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse has to win. I think it's kind of fucked up he was even in this. This is a fucking food one. Why is Mickey in here? What are we doing? Mickey
Was it
Mouse.
all foods? Yeah, I guess
my
the
God.
rest of them were
No.
foods, huh?
Gecko was in there.
Oh, yeah, it Flo.
And the Charmin. Okay, maybe not. It was just a lot of food. But yeah,
Disney
there you go.
is a brand.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Shout out Mickey Mouse. All right. Ratless time, Sam.
That might have been my favorite bracket of the whole thing.
That made me laugh a lot. I enjoyed that a lot. All right. Would you like to kick off the rat list here?
Would I like to kick off the rat list? I sure would. Rat list, we lost. It sucks. We finally lost men's league.
We did lose.
We played poorly. Just if I was watching that game as a fan, the pod would have been an all-timer. Lots that went wrong.
We played like the Celtics.
Played like the Celtics.
21 Celtics.
I was injured. Jack is injured. I was okay. I scored more points than I thought when I went back and thought about it. I was like, oh, I actually had like a fair amount, but I still didn't feel like I played great. Didn't play great defense. Just bad game.
Bad game.
We lost. Now I'm gonna
Bad
rest
game
all
indeed.
week because we don't play because it's Easter. So I'm gonna take it to try and heal. I'll still do the bike because that doesn't hurt my ankle, and we'll try and get back out there next week.
There you go. Back to it. I need to be humbled, right? Like Joe says, it's sometimes good to lose. You can learn.
Sometimes lost on purpose.
So I was driving to breakfast today. I got breakfast with my Nana for my birthday. It was fun. It was good. I'm driving in, going past Target. And the way this works is you turn left and there's 2 lanes to turn left, like 2 left turn only lanes. And so you go. So the correct thing to do is it's like zipper, right? You go one side,
Yes.
one the other side, one side, the other side. Okay. So me knowing that, I'm like, okay, car here, car in front of me, car, truck, van, me. I'm like, okay, we'll go in order. Go. I'm pulling up, about to let the van go because it wasn't my turn and I didn't want to be a dick, right? As you do. That's how you're supposed to do it. Get behind the van. Big letters. Van speed monitored by GPS. Will go speed limit.
You know you're in a bad. Well, at least they warn you.
Yes. Well, Sam, let me repeat that. Monitored by GPS. Will abide by speed limit. When you hear that, what do you think?
On the dot.
You would. We were in a 40. How fast were we going in the 40?
He was probably going like 30.
Try again.
He was going 25.
25 and a 40.
I'd be
40.
irate.
In a 40 and then a 45.
It must be like his first
25.
day.
25? Do you know? I don't think people listening realize how you don't realize how slow 25 miles an hour is until you're going 25 miles an hour.
Oh, when I
Until
go
you
25, I feel like I could run faster.
Until you are brake checking when you're going 30.
Yes, it's awful.
I was so unbelievably mad because I could have passed him. He left me space to pass him because, in case you didn't know, 25 is going straight. When this motherfucker's turning, we're going 10. He doesn't like the turns at all.
I
So
hate
when
the
we're
slow
turning in,
turners.
I had to slow down to let him go in front of me because I'm like, it's the zipper. I don't want to cut him off. I don't want to be a dick. Should have cut him off.
Always cut him off.
My
Yeah.
bad for not being an asshole. That is my fault. Never again. So mad. Oh my God.
Ratless was my car yesterday. So I went, me and the lady went and get coffee in the morning. Then we're going to go to breakfast. I like to get a cup of coffee, like iced coffee. I don't like to get iced coffee when I'm at breakfast. Do you do this too? Do you have the same, I don't like getting coffee from like a restaurant just because I feel like I can get better coffee somewhere else. Like if I'm gonna have my coffee, I'll go.
I get the same drinks whenever I get a restaurant. I get water and chocolate milk. That's my breakfast.
Oh,
I also chocolate milk's so good. It's my go-to.
You ever have coffee milk?
Yeah, good. I used to have it in school a lot.
It's a Rhode Island.
But whenever I go out to eat, I always get my drink and a water because I drink the water before my meal gets there, and then I drink my drink with the meal.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. But anyways, probably like a 5-minute drive, park, go in, get the coffees, probably in there for like 3 minutes, go back out, car doesn't turn on. Didn't have my lights on, didn't have the radio still on, nothing that would have killed the battery other than the cold. It did eventually start, but it did start me off to an absolute burner of a day where I was rattled. Car just randomly does that. Drove it today, no problems.
How old is it?
1994.
94, you said?
Yeah, but it doesn't have a lot of miles on it.
How many miles?
Like 140,000. Hey, it has more now, but when I got it, it did not have that many miles.
Do you know what a lot of miles is, brother? Do you know?
Isn't it like 200,000 is like the danger zone?
Over 100,000 is like, damn, it's getting up there.
No, it is not.
Sam.
When you get a car for like, I got this car when it was like 24 years old. 100,000 miles is not that many miles.
I guess for the context, often 100,000 miles is considered the cutoff point for used cars.
Really?
Yes, you're crazy. And for how old your car is, like, I guess it's not that much because my car is a 2017 and it has like 104, 105. But like, yeah, that is a fuck ton of miles, dude. 140 is a lot of miles. 200,000 is fucking unheard of.
But it only has like a problem with like the starter. Like there's nothing like it doesn't like make noise or anything. Like there's nothing wrong with the way it runs.
If it works, it works. But like it is showing you signs that 30 years is coming up on it.
Just had a lot of problems with the car lately, and it's not all like related to the car being old. Like the tires popped, like just some shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you ever see the SpongeBob where like he's like trying to learn how to be fancy and like his brain snaps in half. Yeah. That's how I felt when my car didn't turn on. Fair.
Very fair. I don't know what other routes to have because we haven't had enough time in between pods for me to like generate route stuff. Like I did a bunch of articles yesterday. That was my day. That's all I did. I don't have anything else. If you have more, please jump ahead of me, but not much.
I feel like I should have Ratless because I actually like did stuff. I talked about the shopping cart guy.
Maybe you just had a good day. Possible, maybe, perhaps.
I just like played a lot of. Well, I just like was with friends this weekend, so like nobody pissed me off.
Good weekend. There you go. Yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Oh, you know what? Ratless, my dad.
Oh no,
I have to turn on him.
Disaster.
My dad is the best. I love my dad. But yesterday, so like when I go hang with my girlfriend, one thing I will do, or we like to do, is like we'll make like a dessert, and it'll be like cookies or something, right? So I will bring home some of what we made.
Yeah.
I brought home 3 big pieces of this brownie thing we made that was like a cinnamon brownie. Like it was like a cinnamon blondie, whatever. It's the same fucking thing. I go to my friends to watch some college basketball yesterday. I go to basketball. And as I'm coming home from playing basketball, I'm thinking like, wow, like I worked hard tonight. Like I'm going to have one of these. They're all gone. They had been in the fridge for less than 12 hours.
Yeah.
All of them are gone.
How many were there?
3. And they were like, you can leave one. You can leave one. I was devastated, but I didn't give him a hard time because he helped me with the car. So this is the extent of me giving him a hard time.
Sacrifices you have to make sometimes.
That's all. And he ate all the peanut butter cups too. I was pissed.
That's a tough one.
I had nothing. Thankfully, my mom came home from work, had all the snacks.
There you go.
Everything.
W. That's all I got, though. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right, we'll call it there.
Sorry
Thank you all
for
tuning in.
List. I hate to do that, but I was.
You do what you got to do.
I was like, you broke my heart.
It happens, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to How About Them Celtics. If you're listening on audio platforms, make sure to leave 5 stars and follow the pod. We'd appreciate it very much. And I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos like this one. We're coming at you every day with something new. At 5 a.m., the videos will be up. So you're going to have pods Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Game recaps the morning after games, unless they are in a pod. Then it'll just be a pod. Other filler videos, different topical content throughout the week. And then we're live for Talkin' C's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning, 11 a.m. Monday, Wednesday. Friday is usually around 10 because the boys have to go play some ball. We're also live for pregame before every single game for a half hour. So come hang out. Those are a ton of fun. And we're here. We're also on Spotify and Apple. If you want the audio pods and game recaps, you can follow us there for those going right to your feed. You can leave a 5-star review. We would appreciate that as well. Email. You saw the email segment today. If you want to be a part of it, you can reach us. hbtcpod@gmail.com is the address. We love to hear from you, whether it is basketball related, insightful stuff like Pete had, just nonsense, rat list stuff that you might want to get off your chest. Go ahead, send it along. You can also find us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Facebook is just the name of the pod. All of our streams are there. They're on YouTube and they're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jackson1NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.